Well, hey there, Facebook. Mercado here. For the last 15 years or so, I've been working with small business owners from around the world, helping them level up their respective businesses. Now, there's one thing that I've noticed after spending well more than 10,000 hours coaching some of these small business owners and just talking to many of these small business owners over these years, is a lot of their success hinges on one specific thing, right? And that's what I'm going to dig a little bit in here with today. As I see some of you starting to chime in, hey, Bob, good to see you. It's been a while. So, as you hear things you like, as you hear things I share here today, send me some love, send me some hearts, send me some thumbs up. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're listening. Okay? And that goes for even you folks who are going to tune in a little bit afterwards. That's fine too. So, our typical style has been shifted a little bit here today. Usually I would have a special guest, but today I'm practicing a little bit of what I preach. And that's a mindset concept called being unstoppable. And that's what I'm going to dive into a little bit here today, is the conversation and the concept of being unstoppable no matter what. Now, small business could be a really scary place. Any small business owners out there? Thumbs up on that one. It could be a very, very scary place and a very lonely place. And it's one of those spaces where things like fear have an easy time creeping in and becoming part of your agenda, whether you want it there or not. So our constant ability to fend that off and fight that off is very critical. So let's talk about being unstoppable. Let me start by explaining a little bit of my day today. And, my day started off like this. I've been slacking, and I'm admitting it to all of you out there. You hear me? I've been slacking when it comes to hitting the gym the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, right? And starting to feel the physical, don't like it. It don't feel good. And those of you who hit the gym and agonize over getting up out of bed and getting to that gym first thing in the morning, you know what I'm talking about there. So I get up. I'm like, all right, I'm getting back to it today. I'm getting back into it. It's going to happen. So I get up, I get dressed, I get ready, I go outside. Now, keep in mind, I have a new car out in the driveway. And I go out into the driveway, and my tire is flat, right? So a very, very simple thing that can stop many of us many times, many days. A simple thing like, oh, well, I guess I got to take care of that tire right now. I don't need to work out today, right? So again, then creeps in that practice what you preach. Be unstoppable. What would you do with your unstoppable mind? Okay, we push through it. So I start looking at, well, what are my options? What do I need to do here? Right? I could walk to the gym, right? I could sit there and try and change the tire myself real quick. Now mind you, I have a whole full boat of clients to talk with during the day, appointments, all of that stuff is also. So the tire needs to get fixed. It's just a matter of what has to happen, right? So, long story short, I decide, you know what? As I put a little bit of thinking in, I stop and just take a breath and think and say, you know what? The new car has this thing called assist. I could press this button and they'll come and they'll change the tire. Now that car is sitting in my driveway and that's fine. They'll still come and change the tire. So I said, you know what? That's what I'm doing. Press the button, let them come and change the tire. And then I go walk to the gym. Right? So instead of hitting the treadmill as part of my gym routine, I just did it as a walk to and from the gym. So that was just a little example of being unstoppable. Right? Can anybody kind of resonate with that? You kind of get that concept of what it's like when you just need to push through. Right? And it's these little victories that make all the difference in how we feel up here and how we approach the rest of our day. Right? Especially as small business owners, because there is always something or somebody dumping on you, right? Trying to unload their junk on you, right? Trying to make their problem your problem, right? Or, if we had really thin skin as small business owners, we'd be in trouble, right? Anybody kind of get that? Little thumbs up there. Anybody get that? Yeah, you can't. You got to have thick skin as a business owner or else you're doomed. You really are. So when we talk about being unstoppable, the example I just shared with you is a very rudimentary, simple example. But the thing is those kind of things are popping up 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, 50 times a day. Those little decisions, those little victories that have to happen. And if they don't, what you're doing is you're defeating this. And the weaker this gets, the harder it gets for you to push through anything it is you're trying to fight through. So today we're touching a little bit on mindset, because as I talk to small business owners, that seems to be the biggest piece that stops them from getting whatever it is they want, right? Now, I'm not even going to get too much deeper into that to say that, you know what? For the most part, most of those small business owners have no idea what they want. And that's problem number one, right? If you don't know what you want, if you don't have your own plan, you tend to work someone else's plan, right? And that's just the way it goes. So setting forth in motion your own plan based on what it is you state you want will make it much easier to be unstoppable. So if I know I want to accomplish this, whatever this is, if I'm crystal clear on what this is, where it is, and all the details about this, it makes it much easier for me to begin with the end in mind and then start planning my attack plan, going this, working my way backwards, versus just allowing myself to get stopped by every single obstacle that comes in my way. And those obstacles will come in your way. And it could come in the form of the phone ringing at the wrong time. And you feeling like that pull, like I got to answer it. Even though you know it's not something you really need to answer at that moment. Right? So the key is being unstoppable in the face of fear. Right? Because that's what this is all driven by. It's driven by fear. If I don't pick up that phone, I might miss what they're going to say to me. If I don't do this, this is going to happen. If this is, then this is going to happen. And we can let our mind go crazy with that concept, right? Or not, right? When we know what we want and we focus on what we want and we build a plan and a strategy to go get what we want, it certainly makes it easier to push away or turn back those things that don't serve us. Make sense? Any thumbs up out there for that one? Some of you out there, I'm sure, have bumped into that one as well. So, in starting with what it is, knowing what we want, putting together a strategy, a game plan, right? Some of the things that I would also suggest thinking through is, what's your contingency plan? Right? So for me, coming back to that story from earlier, I didn't panic. And part of the reason I don't panic is because part of my contingency plan is all in place, right? I have a home office that's fully built out that mimics my office here. So my office in Hauppauge, I have all the things that I need and all the heavy duty equipment I need. I have almost the same setup in my home. So if I had to work from the house, worst case scenario, I could, right? So by thinking that through in advance, not thinking through that, what if I get a flat tire, I might have to work. It's just the concept of stuff happens. Right? Especially when you're a dad and you got kids and, real life gets in the way. You got to have the ability to have that contingency plan that says, okay, well, if this kind of scenario ever shows up, I could always do this. Right? And that comes from my IT background big time. When I was doing a lot of disaster recovery planning for corporations around the world. And it was, when you start thinking about, well, what if all of a sudden one day you have 1,000 employees and all of a sudden the government comes and puts chains on your doors that day and no one could work? What's the game plan? Those were the kind of scenarios we had to deal with in the IT world, building out disaster recovery plans. Well, as a small business owner, what I'm suggesting is, yes, we don't have to have those kind of robust plans like we did with $500 million companies, but it does makes sense to just put a little bit of effort, a little bit of thought into those what-if scenarios and build out some contingency plans. So for me, so what? I got a flat tire, right? There's lots of possibilities. Did I let it stop me going to the gym? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, as I was started my walk towards the gym, it's exactly what I was saying to my wife. I will not allow myself to be stopped. I needed to get my chubby ass, excuse my language, to the gym and work it off. That's where it goes. So I share this with all of you because I want you to know, no matter how seasoned you are, no matter how long you've been in business, and this applies to real life too, folks. This is only just business. We deal with this in our regular life as well. no matter what obstacle gets shoved in our path, I call them rocks, right? When I coach, I call them rocks. So no matter what the rocks are, realize you could step around the rock. You don't have to keep bumping your head straight on into that rock, do you? If you do, we need to talk, and it may not be something I can help you with, but, we got to start the conversation somewhere. So the bottom line is looking at the obstacles, realizing that the universe is just going to always do that. It's going to always challenge you, no matter what. It just does, right? And when the universe isn't doing it, someone else is, right? So the bottom line is know what you want, right? Put together that strategy and that plan. Be unstoppable in your pursuit. Don't allow fear to creep in, right? And remember, it's those little victories that make all the difference, right? Those little victories, they may seem insignificant, but when you start training your brain to be okay with not succeeding, with failing, with allowing yourself to be stopped so easily, those little failures, they start to really, it's like a cancer eating away at your ability to really do what needs to be done. You got to push through that, right? So one last thing, don't worry about the things you can't control, right? I'm sure you get me on that one. If we can't control it, why sit there and worry about it? What's it going to do? What's the worrying going to do for us? Right? So again, bottom line, you got to know what you want, right? You got to create that strategy and that game plan, right? Because a failure to have one means you're going to end up working somebody else's game plan, somebody else's agenda. As a small business owner, that'll crush you. You don't want to be there, right? And then you want that unstoppable, right? Insatiable pursuit of whatever it is you want. It should be it's like putting the goggles on and being able to see clearly what it is you want and go for it, right? And as you're being unstoppable, you're pushing through the fear. You're not worrying about things out of your control. So if this resonated with you, let me know. Give me thumbs up, hearts, whatever you want to do. I just felt like getting out there and sharing that a little bit with you. And remember, this is part of me being unstoppable. I did have a guest today. That guest had something suddenly come up. Use a little Brady Bunch-ism there. Something suddenly come up. So you do it anyway, right? You don't let yourself be stopped by, there's no guest. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to go on at 3 o'clock on Thursday like I always do. I'll just, whatever. And so I know some of you get that. And I know some of you allow yourselves to be stopped by that. Be unstoppable, folks. All right? So I'm going to tune out. I just wanted to chime in a little bit, take a little bit of your time. If you like this, share it, right? Send it out there, share it. It'll be flying all around Facebook today, I'm sure. Good to see those of you that are here. Mark, I see you popping in there as well. Fantastic. And a few other views. Thank you for coming by. We'll be talking real soon, all right? Be unstoppable. Take care now. Bye.